That's nice, isn't it? We've been told what this tree's called about 3 or 4 times, and I still can't remember what it is. It's a lager something. It's got lager in it. It's very nice and pink. That's enough of the tree anyway. Today we're talking about some good news. For me, not for you. As some of you know, I'm in a wheelchair. Not a problem. But before I get to the good news, I'll give you a bit of a backstory. So, April 2016, I was sitting at the computer, checking my morning emails. Got a massive pain straight down the front, all the way down the middle. Tina was just about to go out with the dogs actually, and I says, "Oh, you better hang on, I think I might need a doctor." It turned out it was a little bit worse than needing a doctor, so we called an ambulance. Tina called an ambulance while I was rolling around on the floor in a bit of agony. Ambulance got there quite quick apparently. I don't really remember them, I sort of remember them vaguely in the room. So they shoot me off to hospital, put me in the scanner, decide it's not a heart attack, it's a bit more serious. And then they medevaced me from Angoulême to Bordeaux, which is one of the world's leading heart hospitals, or one of the hospitals in Bordeaux. I can't remember what the name of it is now. So the surgeons were already waiting, straight in on the operating table, cut open from there all the way down, put a new bit of plumbing in. So what had happened is my aorta had dissected, they call it. We don't know how long it had been going on for, but it just split open, so all the blood was leaking out all around the body. And when they do this operation, most of the time it's under controlled conditions, so they freeze your brain. But because I was having a bit of a fever, they couldn't cool my brain down enough. So there's a possible bit of damage on the back of my brain. I can't remember what it's called now. I'll have to ask Tina. I'll put it across the bottom of the screen anyway. Which controls your nerves and bits and pieces. So I woke up in intensive care about 10 days later, having had 3 operations. The original one to replace the aorta. Then I had a leak on the heart, where it obviously joined the new aorta up. And then there was a concern that there was something to do with my intestines, so they opened me up a bit further down as well. Anyway, cut a long story short, because there was no blood going to my legs, my muscles, because as the blood flow starts not going to where it needs to be, it concentrates on your core to keep all your organs going. So all my muscles, when they don't receive any blood, they release a toxin. Hang on, we'll just let this tractor go past. So the muscles release a toxin into your body. That's all going round. So, and then all the drugs that they're pumping in. So the next thing that happened was my kidneys packed up. So they then put me on dialysis. I think that was it. When you came into intensive care, it looked like the Starship Enterprise with all these computers around the room and everything. Beeps and bongs and God knows what. I was getting was I getting x-rayed there? Might have been at the next hospital, because after about 3 weeks they took me out of intensive care in Bordeaux and brought me closer to home, which was Angoulême. And I'd get x-rayed every couple of days to see how things were going on. First time it came, they walked it into the room. It's a mobile x-ray machine, and it's all painted up like a bloody giraffe. I thought I know I was on drugs, but I didn't realise that strong. Anyway, they put me on the cardiac ward, which was pretty rough, because I obviously picked up a couple of infections. Not obviously, but I did pick up a couple of infections, MRSA and then E. coli. which we didn't get to find out until right at the very end. So I had all sorts of people nagging at me to get out of bed, but when I got out of bed, I'd sit there for about 5-10 minutes, go dizzy, throw up, they'd put me back into bed. That was going on for weeks and weeks, but of course I didn't know what was causing it, but now we do. I was all infected. Anyway, went from there to the rehab centre where they concentrated on my top half of my body so I could transfer from wheelchair to a bed, transfer into the car, this, that and the other. They put me on day hospital in November for a month, and then in December they said, right, that's it, see you later, you're on your own. Now, I'm not quite sure why. They did very little on my legs. They put me in a standing frame, that was fine, and they put electrodes on my legs as well. And traffic out here today. They used to put electrodes on my legs just to bring the muscles back to life, but that was all they did. And then they said, see you later, come back in a year. Went back in a year to see the doctor, had an appointment, he was nearly 2 hours late. He had a bit of a poke and a pull. He said, no, don't think you'll ever walk again. So it's like, thanks for that, mate. Lovely jubbly. He said, come back in another year. So we went back the second year. He was a little bit more positive this time. He said, there's improvement. You can move your foot a little bit. And I says, well, I could do that last time. Anyway, he says, the reason you can't stand up is because the muscles, the gluteus maximus and minimus have all gone. So I said to him, what exercises can I do to be able to get those muscles up? He says, well, in a wheelchair, it's very, very difficult. You won't be able to. See you in a year. I was like, thanks very much. Anyway, so that's basically how it happened, how I ended up in the wheelchair. But you carry on with life. We're lucky that we've got Tina. She's bloody good help. But we do quite a lot of stuff. Well, I do quite a bit on my own. So, yeah, where were we? Yeah, I still do what I can. I can drive the car. I can go on the exercise bike. So, cut a long story short, we've moved to this house, as you all know. We got the new doctor. Tina noticed I had a pressure sore on my derriere. Arse. So we had the doctor out and she says, we'll get the nurse out and she can... the nurse comes out every day and they put a bandage on. We're down to 3. It's almost gone now. It's all noose anyway. We've got this Dutch nurse comes round and she said, asking how it happened and all this, that and the other. She says, I'll go to see a physiotherapist every Friday or whenever to sort my back out. Do you want me to have a word and see if he'll come and do a house visit? So anyway, the physio guy came out on Thursday. Came in, had a look. What can you move? So I showed him how I could move my legs, which is the annoying part. I can move my legs, just can't stand up or walk. Gets me on the bed, pulls me about, massages my legs, he's checking my back, and then threw into the standing frame. Gets up on the standing frame. He'd never seen one like it before, and he wouldn't have done because Dad built that. So he says, yeah, that's all perfect. Gets me doing a couple of little exercises on there, back through into the bed, and he was massaging my neck, checking my head. And he turns around and said, I think it's going to be a good project, and I think that we're going to see progress. He didn't say we'll get you walking, but to turn around and say it's a good project and we will see progress sort of lifted the spirits somewhat. So Tina and myself were quite excited after that little visit, and he doesn't normally do house visits, and he's going to come out to the house twice a week. And obviously the first visit he said what he's doing, he's observing, and then he's going to formulate a plan in his head. So that's all positive news. which we haven't had from the doctors. Why? I don't know. Because, I mean, the French medical system is fantastic. I mean, a friend of mine who actually used to be in the operating theatre doing this operation back in the UK said if I was in the UK I'd be dead. Plain and simple. Because it happened so quick. Everything fell into place. Ambulance was 15 minutes. They got me to the hospital, into the scanner, airlifted to Bordeaux. The surgeons were waiting. They kept me alive. I can't ask for more than that. But the aftercare at the rehab centre, it was all right. But they just seemed to, once you're out, that's it, you're out. And there was no ever mention of, oh, we'll have you back in and we'll concentrate on your legs. Anyway, this physio bloke, good project, he says. So we're getting quite positive. If I can't walk, I can't walk. I can live with that because I'm still alive. But if I could possibly just stand up, lock my legs and be able to stand up, it'll make working on the cars and stuff a bit easier, and just everything a bit easier if you can just stand up and get something out of the kitchen cupboards. I don't see why I won't. I still got nerve damage on the thing on my brain. I can feel my legs if I touch them. I can feel it. And even the doctor at the rehab centre, he says he was drawing. He says close your eyes. He was drawing circles and crosses on my feet, and I could tell him what he was doing. But I can't feel pain and I can't feel hot and cold, sort of, on most of my legs, I think, which used to be a bit of a shock when we was going in the swimming pool, because I'd dangle my legs in first, think, oh, this is all right, and then I'd jump in with the rest of my body, and the top half of my body, it would feel the cold. But anyway, so this is what's happening now with this physio. He's going to come out twice a week. What I'm going to do, you don't have to watch them at all. I'm going to do a series of videos. I'll put it into a playlist. It's mainly for us to see progress over the years, but every month or so, if we feel that there's a lot of progress, I'll do a video and put it into a playlist, and so we can see the progress. You're all welcome to have a look at the progress as well. I'm just putting it on YouTube, and for us it's going to be a record of how things are progressing, because if we do get a good progression, we're not going to notice it, because it's a little bit. If we do a video like after the first month, I'm not allowed to exercise without the physio at the moment. He says for now, do the exercises with him twice a week, and then build it up, because the muscles in my legs haven't been used for 3 years and we don't want to be doing any damage. Once we can start exercising on our own, like every day, I shall do some videos, and then probably once a month I'll do another video just to show the progress, and then we can look back and say, yeah, we've come quite a long way, sort of thing. Because, yeah, for us, it's a little bit here and there. But if it's like every 1 month, every 2 months, you're going to see, hopefully, a big improvement. So that's the plan. I'm not asking you all to watch it, but so I know some of you will be interested. But yeah, it's getting quite exciting. Yeah, I've forgotten what it's like to be 6'4". So yeah, that's pretty much all of it. All of this video taken care of. I'm not going to go for all the likes and subscribes, because it's not that sort of video. It's just going to be just a bit of an introduction to this paraplegic progress. So yeah, I'll leave it there. From me and Tina, stood behind the door waving. She's not cleaning the windows. She's just a bit special. So from me and her, it's bye for now.